Почитувани
Dear all, good morning to you all. Welcome to the joint event between the government and the United Nations, more specifically the United Nations Population Fund. Today's roundtable has the title Demographic Trends, Joint Action for Investment and Utilization of the Human Capital through the 5 years program of the government and the UNFPA. Distinguished President of the Government, Professor Christian Mickovski, Distinguished Madam Florence Bauer, Regional Director of the UNFPA for Central and Eastern Asia, distinguished representatives of the United Nations to the country, dear ministers in the government, dear Vice President of the Parliament, dear all. It is a pleasure for me to be able to announce the address of the President of the government, Professor Christian Mickovski. President, my gratitude to you for having the sense of this topic, for respecting this topic, recognizing the importance of demography for the future of our beloved country. Thank you for all the initiatives you have raised, and I absolutely believe that it is good that the government, together with the United Nations, signed a 5 years framework for our future cooperation, because this is an issue of fundamental importance that many countries around the world are facing. Dear President of the Government, please take the floor. Thank you, Vlatko. Distinguished representatives of the United Nations, distinguished Madam Regional Director of the UNFPA, Madam Florence Bauer, distinguished Permanent UN Coordinator, Madam Rita Columbia, distinguished ministers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are speaking about the most important resource in a society, and that is the people. Allow me first to extend my sincere gratitude to the United Nations, to the UNFPA Population Fund, and to their office in Skopje for the continuing support, cooperation, and vision. The involvement of this international organization allows us to view, observe the challenges and solutions through a broader perspective, to learn from the global experiences and to create together change-making policies. What we are promoting today is a 5 years program that will be implemented by the government and the UNFPA. This program is not just a document or a formality, it is a plan for action, vision and strategy that will be implemented through concrete activities geared towards the future of our country and our citizens. When we speak about resources, we often mention mineral, mining resources, finance, infrastructure, energy, waters, or natural treasure. It is important. But the most important resource, the resource that drives all the others, is the human capital. There is no kindergartens without children, there are no schools without students, there are no universities without students, there is no sport without sportsmen and sportswomen, there is no agriculture without farmers, there are no municipalities without citizens, there is no economy without workforce, there is no spending without consumers, there is nothing without people, there is nothing without the peoples and the demography. Demographic recession is not a new phenomenon. It is ongoing for more than 70 years. Since 1950 and until today, the number of newborns is in a constant decline. In 1950, there were more than 50,000 newborns. In 2024, we have only around 16,000 newborns. I think that the last year with more than 20,000 was 2019. So, in 5 years, we have a recession of 5,000 newborn babies. That means that In 5 years from now, when they begin their primary education, we will have around 100 to 150 classrooms that are empty. That means that 250 to 300 teachers will be laid off, or we will need to pay them so that they are not working. This is a result of this recession. This path has two main reasons. First, there is a natural process. As a country, we have always been a country that has emigration. Our emigration was numerous in the past as well, and also the reduced natality and fertility. The reduced fertility rate. The government is aware of the significance of this issue and is already working along several lines. We created the highest economic growth on the Balkans, judging by our GDP, Macedonian GDP. That means the new jobs, higher salaries, more opportunities for the young people. We are investing in the future of the families. 6 free of charge in vitro fertilization attempts with accelerated procedure paid by the Health Insurance Fund. It was 3 previously, we increased it to 6. Free textbooks for students, because the education is the foundation of the demographic growth. And these picture books that I distributed in the beginning are the picture books that our first grade students need to explain to them that the family is not just me, mom and dad, but me, mom, dad, my brother, my sister. Then we built or we modernized kindergartens in more cities so that we can assist the parents. Then support for mothers, for children, and for the families through new social and economic measures. I must admit that this problem is not isolated to our country only. It is an issue that the whole of Europe and beyond is facing, the Balkans, the United States, Canada, Australia, Eastern Asia. What is symptomatic is that even the most developed and the richest countries suffer from this issue the most. And this stresses the importance of policies and measures that are adopted. We must say that there is nothing more important than the family. The family is the foundation of a society. It is the first and the most important lesson, the school that we have in our lives. The children are not just love and joy, they are our future and our existence. To love our fatherland is a patriotic gesture, and that translates to having more children. We need to be parents, we need to create future and believe in it. Before this official part, we had a meeting with the distinguished guests. I just wish to present a brief analysis. According to the latest population census, we have slightly more than 1.8 million population. We have more than 700,000 employed and around 500,000 old age pensioners. Realistically speaking, population present in the country does not exceed 1.5 million. And maybe this challenge over the next 10, 15 years will be a challenge, and we will all experience it, maybe not with such rapidity, but in 20 to 25 years, what we will leave to the generations after us will be a serious challenge. And why? Because I'm afraid that then we will be a country with less than 1 million population, and then we will have 1 employed to 1 pensioner ratio. That means a collapse to the pension fund and collapse to the health care fund. Anyone who is playing games, who does not understand this, how serious this is, does not have the good intentions for this country at heart. They could call me conservative, backwards. I don't care about the names they call me, but this must be the highest priority of the government and all future governments. And this is families with many children. We do not need kindergartens if we do not have children, if we do not need schools if we do not have children. It is in vain that we are building highways and railways if there is nothing who would travel along them. And therefore, I would like to send a message to all Macedonian citizens. All Macedonian citizens need to receive this clear message. Forming a family with many children is the highest patriotic act of the people for their own fatherland, motherland. Regardless of their ethnic affiliation, religious affiliation, a family with many children means future. If we want to have future, if we want to have a country that is rich, developed, a country that will develop after our time, then the family is the answer to this challenge. And let me finish here. This program is a confirmation that we're not alone, that we have friends and partners around the globe, but that also responsibility lies on all of us to preserve the population, to keep the young people here, to safeguard the family, and to ensure the future for Macedonia. The time is now and the future is our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you for your address. And it's true, we should not think about the next couple of years, but for the next 20 years. And you directly feel this problem, both as a Prime Minister, as a pedagogist, because you are professor at the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. You are teaching future generations about mechanical processes, artificial intelligence, robotics, but you also see what is happening with the number of students. So thank you for your personal engagement and your address. Next to address the floor is Ms. Florence Bauer, the Regional UNFPA Director for Eastern Europe and Central Asia, huge number of countries.
Big area to cover, and thank you very much for coming here. You're welcome in Skopje, you're welcome in the government offices. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you so much, Prime Minister and Excellencies, distinguished Minister, distinguished representative for the parliamentarian, the spokesperson, resident coordinator from the UN, colleagues and friends. Such a pleasure and an honor to be here today to launch the country, can you hear me? Yeah. To launch a country program and to launch what I would call as our joint commitment for the next 5 years between the government of North Macedonia and UNFPA. As you know, this joint commitment, this joint program, it was approved in New York at the executive board at the end of August. And what is also important is that it was approved together with a number of other country programs for the region, but as well together with the strategic plan of UNFPA globally. And UNFPA, with the approval of the member states, presented the priorities that include investment in sexual reproductive health, in gender equality, in the empowerment of women and young people, and in demographic resilience. And that was accepted and adopted as a global priority because, as the Prime Minister was saying, all the countries around the world are going through very different demographic shift. We see more and more countries that are going through situations that are similar to what North Macedonia is facing, with the fertility rate that is going down, which in some countries is coupled with out-migration, which is all countries is coupled as well with aging population. We have already in the world 60% of the population living in countries where the fertility rate is below the theoretical 2.1. So that's why UNFPA adopted as a big objective, let's say, I could even call it as an umbrella objective, to work with countries to navigate those demographic shifts and to promote demographic resilience. North Macedonia in my region is the first country that is launching this new program of cooperation, and that's why I'm so honored to be here today and to be part of this important moment. It's very symbolic as well that it's happening in North Macedonia, because this is a country that has taken demographic resilience as one of its top priorities. The fact that we have the Prime Minister taking it as its own priority and putting together the different ministers and the overall government is something that is absolutely exemplary, and that shows the vision that you have, Prime Minister, and I really want to congratulate you for that, because that's where it should be. It needs to be a priority at the highest levels of the government. So this event is more than a formal occasion. I see it as a celebration, and it's a celebration of a shared vision, and that's a shared vision about a society that is demographically resilient and socially inclusive, and where we want each individual to reach their full potential, because eventually that's what about sustainable development is to give the opportunity for each individual to develop themselves to the highest level of their potential. It has been developed in close cooperation with the government, with partners, with parliament, and with other actors in society. And I'm so glad to see that it's so closely linked to the priorities of the government, as we heard by the Prime Minister. It's linked to the national priorities, the national development strategy, of course the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and also the framework that the countries has started with the European Union. It is a catalyst for action, Prime Minister, and you highlighted that, and that's fundamental. It's really looking at through a wide range of partnership with different actors to promote also gender equality, to promote the empowerment of people, the empowerment of young people, empowerment of women through the life cycle. We're talking about the need, when you want to demographic resilience, there is the need to invest in people from the youngest age towards the older ages. We can also not forget about healthy aging. The population of older, the share of older population in the country will also increase, so it's also fundamental to invest in a healthy aging so that they can continue to contribute to the country and not represent a burden for social protection. And so that's also part, I would say, of the overall equation. It's all about putting people at the center. The family, as Prime Minister was mentioning, is actually at the center as well of the International Conference on Population and Development, the Plan of Action that was already developed 30 years ago, which put people at the center of development, human capital, the choices of people. And that's also fundamental. We want to support families to respond to the choices that they want to make. When we do ask people how many children they want to have, actually they normally say something between 2 and 3, so much higher than the number of children that they actually have. So the whole challenge when we're talking about a demographic resilient society is to help the people to have the desired fertility. So that's why some of the measure about in vitro fertilization, for example, it's also a measure that is important for the couples that are facing infertility. What I really appreciate is the commitment of the government, and I see it in the different strategies that I was mentioning, in the political commitment, but it's also, I understand that with the development of the document, it will also go with the allocation of funding, which is also fundamental, that all the different policies that are being developed as part of the response to be demographic resilience also go with funding. And as we know, and as we were discussing with the Prime Minister, it is a very complex situation. There is no, if I may use that terminology, there is no magical recipe, and we really need to bring the different parts of the government together. And that's why under your convening power, having the level of commitment that we see in this room and that you're putting into this topic is exactly what we need to do. So let me conclude by saying that it is the highest priority of UNFPA to support countries to be demographic resilient by investing in people and putting human capital at the center. So please count on our support. I'm so glad we're doing this joint, launching the joint commitment today. Let's work on this together. And I'm very trustful that by putting this at the highest level of the government, in investing in human capital, we can contribute to having North Macedonia as a country where the population will continue to strive to the full development of each individual, putting people, choices, and human capital at the center. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your words. Thank you for coming to our country, both you and Ms. Justin Colson, the Director for Macedonia, Serbia, Albania, Kosovo, and Bosnia and Herzegovina at UNFPA. And you've said that we are the first country and the first government that has signed such a cooperation agreement with the UNFPA in this region. That is because we are proactive. We have support for this issue from the Prime Minister and his associates, and also, ma'am, because you really have a really good team here in Skopje. So Ms. Colombia and Ms. Plavianska Šalja were really engine of our cooperation together with the Ministry of Social Affairs and Demography. Znači, ova беше mnogo.
The Ministry of Social Policy, Demography and Youth had excellent involvement in this. Gratitude goes to you, Minister, for supporting this issue. You personally and your associates are very proactive in this, so please take the floor. Thank you very much. Distinguished Prime Minister of the Republic of North Macedonia, Mr. Christian Mickoski, Distinguished Regional Director of the UNFPA for Southeastern Europe and Central Asia, Madam Florence Bauer, Distinguished Permanent Coordinator of the United Nations in the country, Madam Rita Columbia, Your Excellencies, colleagues, ministers, representatives of institutions and of the international organizations. We are gathered here today because we all believe in our future. We believe in the power of people, in their energy, in their capacity to create, to build, and to move our country forward. Demography is not just a figure, that is the life that is taking place in our families, our schools, our communities. There is a story about the young people who have dreams, who are parents who create, for the elderly who provide wisdom to all generations. With the new 5-year program 2026-2030 adopted by the government and the executive board of the UNFPA, the Republic of Macedonia is entering a new chapter. Our aim is simple but huge: to invest in people, in their potential, in their future. To support the young people so they have a chance to study, to work, and to prosper here at home, where they were born. To encourage everyone who left to come back and to bring their knowledge, ideas, and new energy to the country, to strengthen the families because they are the foundation of every healthy and stable society. To create conditions where every child, without any exception, will have equal opportunities for growth and development. To build local communities that offer quality life so that every citizen can see their future where they live. However, this vision could not be attained unless we all work together. And to succeed, we must build our future together. Therefore, the interinstitutional cooperation is so important. For the state institutions, local self-government, civil society organizations, and the business community can work as one. This is the only way we can turn this program into reality, and this will be experienced, felt in the daily lives of all our citizens. Our partnership with the UNFPA and with other UN agencies gives us strength, knowledge, and resources to turn the challenges into new opportunities for our country. Dear all, demographic trends are not something that we should be afraid of. They are a call to be stronger, wiser, more united. A call, an urge to build a country where every young people will see their perspective, every parent feels supported, and every elderly citizen feels the care and respect from all of us. Let's build this future with vision, with trust, and with shared efforts. Thank you. Distinguished President, the same speech in Macedonian, now it was presented in Albanian initially.
Европа и Централна Азија Флоренс Бауер. Почитувана
Distinguished Permanent Coordinator of the United Nations to the country, Rita Columbia, Your Excellencies, colleagues, ministers, representatives of the institutions and of the international organizations, we are gathered here today because we believe in our future. We believe in the power of the people, in their energy, in their capacity to create, to build, and to drive our country forward. Demography is the life that is taking place in our families, our schools, our communities. That is the story of young people who dream, parents who create, the elderly who provide wisdom to all of us. The new 5 years program 2026-2030, endorsed by the government and the executive board of UNFPA, North Macedonia enters a new chapter. Our aim is simple but huge: to invest into people, into their potential, and into their future. To support the young people so they have a chance to study, to work, and to prosper here in their home. To encourage those who left to come back so they can bring knowledge, ideas, and new energy to the country. To strengthen the families, because they are the root of every healthy and stable society. To create conditions where every child, with no exceptions, will have equal opportunities for growth and development in our country. To build local communities that offer quality life for every citizen so they can see their future where they live. This vision could not come to life if we work separately. To succeed, we need to build our future together. When the state institutions, local self-government, civic organizations, and the business community work as one, we could transpose this program into reality. Partnership with the UNFPA and with the United Nations agencies is giving us strength, knowledge, and resources so that we could turn the challenges into new opportunities. They are all demographic trends are not something that we should fear from. That is a call for us to be stronger, wiser, more united. A call for us to build a country where every young people sees their perspective, every parent is supported, and every senior citizen feels the care and respect from all of us. Let's build this future with a vision, with trust, and with shared work. Thank you all.
Благодарност до вас.
Thank you, Mr. Limani, once again. Gratitude to your team within the ministry. They really were involved in the preparation of this event, but also of all these programs. The Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Nikolovsky, who is the Transport Minister, is the next to take the floor. Dear Vice President, you were part of youth organizations in the creation of youth policies for many years, and now your ministry is in charge of the housing, with the emphasis of the young people and infrastructure and balanced regional development, which is important for the demography. Please, you can take the floor, and the next to speak is Madam Rita Columbia from the UN office in Skopje.
Thank you for this opportunity, dear Prime Minister, UN representatives, ministers, directors. This is an exceptionally important topic, and before I say what we can do as part of our competencies, I want to express my opinion. They absolutely agree with what the Prime Minister said, that this is topic number one, and this is a topic which is a matter of lifestyle, life decision, and also a culture problem. Having in mind that the living conditions are improving from year to year, having in mind that the economic situation is improving, but unfortunately the numbers show something else. We need a great effort and action. You will often hear in the public that financial support is necessary. Yes, it's true, but I believe that the problems go much deeper, and I relate it to the lifestyle. When all of us start from ourselves, we will find much more answers in this respect than what is mentioned in the general public publicly. And I think that this is the main focus we should work on. Unfortunately, Western civilization is facing this problem and the issue. We are not an exception. We are such a small country that this affects us really seriously and will affect us in the decades to come. In the other respect, I think it's very important for each married couple to provide decent living conditions, whether it's in terms of providing, building a house or purchasing a flat, and that's why we believe that the construction of houses is something that needs to be encouraged in this period, so that each family has room for raising a family. And that's why we are working on an active program for urbanization of some of the municipalities where houses can be built at affordable prices. And also we are working with municipalities of reducing the tariffs or the taxes paid for development of construction land, which should assist to motivate many people to build their homes at a lower price. And this is something which we will continue working on in the forthcoming period. In this respect, we have an activity, the government has developed activity which has been implemented for 2 years, and this is to invest in the local self-government. Last year, we signed projects worth hundreds of millions of euros. This year, we have already signed some contracts and we have some public calls for 250 million euros projects. So it's an investment cycle of 350 million euros, which is already underway and will develop in the future. This is very important for addressing the utility problems, whether water supply, grey water, whether roads, playgrounds, kindergartens. In some municipalities, for the first time after 30 years, they will have new kindergartens and new schools and fully addressed infrastructural problems when it comes to roads and wastewaters. And I think that this will significantly improve the lives of population and, of course, establishing connections. We are a country which is good to be decentralized and to have good living conditions all over the country. In this respect, we invest a lot in connections. This is the government which has opened the largest number of built kilometers in express roadways and highways, and we are currently building many new roads. This year we opened the express road from Stracin to Kriva Palanka, the 2 sections of the express road from Gradsko to Prileps, Drenovo-Fariš and Gradsko-Drenovo, 34 kilometers from the Ohrid-Kičevo highway. We actively work on finishing this highway, and then we are working on from Gostivar to Tetova, Prilep-Bitola highways. This is a huge activity. We also launched the section from Gevgelija to Bogdanci, from Ohrid to Sveti Naum. So numerous activities have been achieved in a few months, and we are currently constructing many infrastructural projects. We will help people to remain in the places where they live, and as part of their families, develop the new generations so that they can have better living conditions at more affordable prices, because if we have a polycentric approach where everybody comes to Skopje or to a couple of urban centers, that will be a financial problem. This is how I end. The foundation, I think, is to work seriously, both to lead by example, with generations who are now have the option to found families, to convince them that this is the right decision, and this is not only the way to survive, but to have a better and better quality life. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Vice President, for your address and for the activities that you are implementing through your ministry. The next to speak is Madam Rita Columbia from the United Nations office in Skopje. Many activities, good program for the next 5 years. I'm hoping that we will have success, and thank you once again for your involvement.
Very much, dear Prime Minister, prominent ministers, Your Excellencies, Regional Director of UNFPA, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank the government for being here today, despite of the very busy schedule. Thank you. It shows as well how seriously the issue of demographic resilience is taken by the government. And from the behalf of the United Nations family in North Macedonia, I want to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to support the government of North Macedonia in implementing its national priorities, very well outlined in the National Development Strategy, and reaching its goals. Our shared goal is clear: to accelerate the achievement of sustainable development goals and ensure that no one is left behind. It is precisely for this purpose that the United Nations, together with the government and all stakeholders, has jointly developed the new United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework for the next 5 years, starting from the next year, which was recently approved by the government and signed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and thank you again for your support. This cooperation framework is our collective blueprint. It aligns the entire UN system's expertise and resources directly with the national agenda, ensuring that UN support is strategic, coordinated, and resultsful, impactful. The UNFPA country program that we launched today is a stellar example of this alignment in action. It is not a standalone initiative or program. It's a dedicated and vital component of the broader cooperation framework. Its design ensures that our collective efforts on population dynamics, reproductive health, including planning of healthy families, and equal opportunities for women and young people contribute to the larger goals that all of us share. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the government of North Macedonia for its invaluable collaboration. Your leadership and partnership are the bedrock of our shared success. And special congratulations to UNFPA country and the regional teams. UNFPA has played a critical role in putting together demographic resilience at the forefront of the national agenda. And as they're working today with the ministries to develop the demographic strategy, I hope that will be a blueprint for the country, not only for medium term, but longer term, how to ensure that North Macedonia is getting bigger and prosperous. So the new country programs strategically address the country's emerging priorities and ensuring that the country is reacting to demographic changes and proactively building a resilient and prosperous future for all its people. If we stay focused together, we can reach the success that will benefit all people of this country. Thank you so much. And apologies for being a little bit sick.
Thank you, Ms. Columbia, for your address and all your activities. Prime Minister, thank you for your attendance today. You today have a government session with a lot of items on the agenda. Thank you once again for your personal engagement and support for understanding this topic. We understand that you are busy and we will continue with our agenda. Thank you for attending.